Hi folks! I've been making print and cut stickers for my grandchildren to decorate their autograph books. And when I made these clear sticker paper ones, I received several questions asking how I did the backgrounds on them. It's really quite straightforward. As you know, there's no white ink in your printer, so if you use a white background on the words or images, the printer will not print anything on the background and you'll end up with just a clear cutout shape. So that's very straightforward, but I wanted to mention it because I was asked several times. On these stickers, I've been using different shapes and backgrounds. Let's see, on this one, I use just an offset image for a background. This one has a white background and it's cut edge to edge. As you can see, I left the bleed on. I always do, because that allows design space to cut within the color and you have color that extends right to the edge of your image. On these, I've added shapes. On this one, I added a shape to the background. I've also done some that were several pieces, but I welded a solid background to the image so that it would cut out as a one-piece sticker. So I'm going to run through a few of the different ways I did these in the upcoming video. If you'd like to see how it's done, keep watching. So let's get started. I'm using my iPad app to demo this, but you would use the same process whether you're using an app or whether you're using your computer design space. So we'll start with a new project. I'm going to go to Images and take an image that I've been working on. There are several ways I can do this. I can just select the image, go to my Actions tab, and flatten it. If we go to Make It, we'll see that it's going to cut out as the car, without a background, just the car. Let's go back to our canvas. I'm going to undo. Another way I can do this is take a look at my layers panel. The bottom image will be a background. I'm going to duplicate it. The reason why I don't use the original background, I duplicate it, is because I want to work with it alone before I flatten it to the actual image. So I'm going to unhide it. I'm going to change the color. In this case, I'll use white. Go to Edit and make it a little larger. So I'm going to go to 4.20. Place it. Go to Arrange and move it to the back. So we're going to get it centered up. You can see the white outline, the offset outline. Select both together, go to Action, and flatten. In my layers panel, that you can see that it's become all one image. And if we go to our Print and Cut mat, you'll see that the car is going to print on the offset background, and that is going to cut out as one image. Another way that I do this, I'll delete that background. Let's say I want to add a shape, like a circle behind. Go to my layers panel and change the circle to whatever color I want. Go to Edit, Arrange, and move to the back. We'll center it up. Before we do that, let's say I have these two images and I want my car to print on my circle. I go to my layers panel, I choose my circle, and I tell it to print. And I take my Lightning McQueen and I flatten it. Go to my Print and Cut screen, and you see that they're still going to print and cut as separate images, and that's not what we want. We want the car to print on the circle. You need to select both together and then flatten. And when you go to your cut screen, you'll see that the car is going to print and cut on the circle. We get a question about that all the time, people saying that they're still cutting as separate images because you need to stack them, flatten them all together, and the same goes for text. Let's take a look at that. If I add text, I'll take any text, doesn't really matter. And I write happy. Let's say I write happy. Let's select them and flatten. And we'll go to our print and cut screen. You'll see that the word happy is there, but this is all going to cut as separate letters. I go back to my canvas, add a shape to the background, change the color so you'll be able to see it. Go to edit, arrange, and move it to the back. You want to select both together, go to action and flatten. Then when you go to your make it screen, it's going to print and cut with the text written on the background. And that is how you would do it if you were making cards or invitations or tags. You want to put the text on the background and flatten them together. So there was one other thing I wanted to show you. Let's see. I made a sticker with the Cars emblem. There it is. Insert. So when I went to this layers panel and duplicated that background image and unhide it, I see that I still have the cutout in the middle of it, and I didn't want that. I wanted a solid background. So I just took a shape, sized it down to cover the cutout, select both together and weld. And I see that I still have a cutout at the bottom. Take a shape again, just size it down to cover it, select both and weld. And then I will turn it white because I want it white. I'm going to make it a little larger and go to arrange and move it to the background. Now I have a solid background behind my Cars sticker. Center it up, select all together, go to action and flatten. And now it's going to cut as one piece, print and cut as one piece, which is how I wanted it. I didn't want the cutouts and the separate pieces. So these rules pretty much apply to any print and cut that you want to do. If you have any questions, please ask. And thank you for watching.